Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Well, we have something so exciting to tell you. Dean Webb is CEO of Faith Farm Ministries, and he has lots of very beautiful stories to tell all the time. But we're going to talk about something else today because there's something going on at Faith Farm that's really exciting. So, Dean, let's just catch you here. We're going to really get you on Facebook Live, and I just want to know, are you getting exhausted yet?
Not yet, because I have so many people jumping in there and doing the work. We had a planning meeting just that I had to walk out a little early to make the show today, but everybody's pulling together, the menu, the chef, the people doing the tickets and arranging the tables, and of course Judy is planning the whole thing.
I know,
and she's amazing. She sold table sponsorships, and she does an incredible job.
It's hard to resist her, when you...
It is. Well, she's so passionate. It's so funny. It's called the Night of Light. It's our second annual fundraising event. As a nonprofit for 66 years, we've always worked on micro business enterprises, and most nonprofits do fundraisers all the time. Well, we don't. We work on our thrift stores and our recycling and our cattle groves and all that stuff. And so this is a little bit unusual for us. So this is the second time we've done this. But this happens to fall on Judy's 10th anniversary with Faith Farm. And somebody put up $500 and bought a half a page in the program to thank her for organizing this event. So she was really touched when she saw that.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And I just have to say that I can't wait to go again. I went last time, but I keep looking forward to them because they are getting bigger now. And it is important. I know that a lot of not-for-profits do have galas. They have balls. As a matter of fact, Broward Health is having their big gala, and they get sometimes, I hate to even tell you this, sometimes they wind up with $600,000. But It's because the doctors all take tables, and the tables are $5,000 a piece. So, but you have started on a small scale. But I think, remember, they've been doing this it's going on for 20 years.
Yeah.
I think every year it's going to get bigger and bigger, and everybody now knows about it. When I go out to try to get something, all I have to do is say, "Do you know Faith Farm?" Yes. Well, then they're cooked.
Yeah.
They're going to give you something because they think what you do is so great.
We have a lot of goodwill in many communities. We really do. We're very, very gratified when we hear that.
So let's just tell people about this. What can people expect?
Well, the one thing that differentiates us from most galas and fundraisers is we don't have alcohol, because we're a drug and alcohol recovery, and we have trying to train our students on how to serve and all that stuff, and we don't want them around that to be tempted. We don't have alcohol, so that might prohibit us from ever becoming. I don't know how big this can get. We're already almost to exceed last year's already, and with sponsorship. So I don't know how big it can become, but if somebody can have a fun evening without the alcohol, it'll be really nice. It'll be very touching. You'll hear stories of lives changed. And, we've got silent auctions, 50-50 auctions where you put in, buy tickets and put the ticket in. And let's say you put in $10. Eventually, they're going to draw. And if you draw it, you get half of whatever the money's in the pot, cash. The other half goes to us. And there'll be 3 of those. And then we have silent auctions. And I know you furnish some books to us. We'll have a table with books and for people to bid on. And we've got everything from golf tickets.
You're going to have orchids?
You're going to give us orchids. Yeah.
Oh, orchids sell.
Yeah.
There's not a place that they don't sell.
I'm going to love seeing those. And so we have tried quite a smattering. We've had restaurants, like you say, when we go into, like when I went into the golf course at Atlantis, and they were about to close down on a Sunday afternoon, and I said, I want to speak to the manager. He said, I'm the manager. I said, I'm with Faith Farm, and I said, we're doing a fundraiser, and I just wonder if you would consider giving us some rounds of golf at the golf club. Oh, sure. And he just turned around, follow me. And I walked back to his office. He had a clipboard. He filled out, put a number on a certificate, gave me a beautiful color certificate for us to, and it's worth several $100s, of course, for a round of 4 people, round of golf. So I just have been amazed how quickly people give to us. And of course, whatever's bid on those is bottom line donation for us. But since they gave it to us, and we have gift certificates and everything from movies to restaurants to, we're working on a retreat cabin up in the mountains.
Wow,
Someone
that's
has
good.
they're trying to work out how to do that. We haven't gotten that yet, but anyway, we're going to have quite a variety of things for the silent auction for people to buy. And I remember last year there was a set of colorful books a lady wrote, and they were Christian books.
I remember them.
And
You loved them.
oh, I loved them. Yeah, the illustrator guy worked for Disney. I mean, they were the most beautiful colored books, and I was determined to get there were 7 books out of 12 that she'd written 7 so far. I was determined to outbid everybody and get those for my granddaughter in Atlanta. And I remember you were at the table. You remember I kept jumping up and going and checking. I said, dang, somebody bid some more. So anyway, it's a good cause. I shouldn't say that. But anyway, I kept bidding, and I kept going right till the deadline to make sure I was the last one, got the highest bid. And Christmas, when we went home and wrapped those for my granddaughter, she just squealed.
So you knew that you
I
loved
knew
them.
she would love them. And we held back the one for Easter. And this year, when we sent the Easter basket, we sent the 7th one, which was the one for about Easter. And she just loved it.
So yeah, so those are nice things. You know, it's not only just some sort of junky thing, but you try very hard to give something of value that people are going to enjoy and think about. Well, but the other thing that struck me when I was there last time was, as you said, the professionalism. Here you were taking people who really work there and who have been, they've been addicted to various things. And now they're in little tuxedos. I don't know. They were in black jackets.
they were in tux. They were either black slacks or skirt and a white shirt or blouse.
It looked good to me,
yeah.
right? It
And
looked really gorgeous.
So you could tell who was a waiter or waitering and helping and assisting. So we're doing the same thing this year so people can spot them easier.
And so you have it in a tent there, and it's lighted. Last time I guess it was lighted, and now with little bubble lights at the top and on the tables. And
yeah, it's our screened-in pavilion that we use to cook all the food for the homecoming when we pitch those tents in February. And so we use that pavilion, and we'll have 150 something people so far that we know of.
And you always have music because a lot of your I will call them students. They play music. I go to some of your events, and they're wonderful.
Yeah. This time we got Heather Lidwell, who's a professional pianist and singer. She's the wife of the pastor at our Fort Lauderdale campus church. And she's going to got a guy to accompany her with the guitar, and she's going to sing. She's got a great voice, and she's got a really powerful song picked out. And the MC is Mike McGann, who's with Legends 100 Radio. He's when you're interviewing me now, that's the other person. I've done probably 14 or 15 radio stations. He's the other one beside Anita FINLEY,
right,
that just loves us and just draws me out, so to speak, and gets me excited. And he gets excited about Faith Farm. So he's got a great voice. He's going to come be the MC, and so it'll be fun. It's at 6:30 Saturday night. You can buy tickets online for $40, and
they have to go faithfarm.org.
Faithfarm.org. Yes.
You ought to do it, and then you'll get to meet Dean in person and his beautiful wife Cindy, which is great.
Yeah.
And so the other thing, I recommended a very wonderful couple that he's going, and he called me yesterday and said, "So what's the attire?" I said, "Well, I think a coat and tie would be a nice thing to wear." He said, "Not a tux." I said, "No, there's no tuxes."
No, he doesn't even have to wear a tie.
Well, I told him
I'm not even going to wear it.
But he wants
it's warm.
to.
Yeah.
He thinks it's appropriate if it's fancy. And I said, and if it isn't, you can take your tie off.
Yeah, casual chic. I'm just going to wear a shirt and my blazer probably. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, you
most
may
people
get
probably won't have a coat on, to be honest with you, because it's out in a screened-in pavilion. It's out in the open. It's
well,
with no
he
air
can take it
conditioning.
off if he doesn't want it.
You're
But
right.
Frankly, as a woman, I love to see men in ties and jackets. Isn't
well,
that
you know
strange?
what? I love
it.
wearing suits. I don't in Florida. It's just so humid and hot all the time. But if you gave me a choice of wearing this button-down shirt like I've got right now and a coat and tie to work, I would wear a coat and tie. I just love it.
And men look so good in them if they would realize.
It probably goes back to my old stockbroker Merrill Lynch days in Wall Street.
That you had to do that.
Yeah, you always had to be in coat and tie.
Well, so I think we've kind of covered that. It's the Night of Light. Please be sure to go, and if you can, you can contribute toward this. If you can't go, then make believe you went. Let your money go for you instead.
Yeah, you can go to faithfarm.org and hit the donate button, and you even use your credit card and just put Night of Light or you don't have to put anything, just put donation. But if it's relation to this Night of Light, it'd be nice for us to measure the impact your radio station has on people.
Yes.
That would be great for us to measure.
Be. The other thing that I just wanted to share about is that when I go there and I go there for other events, it is amazing to me how you turn this place into magic. It is magic, I have to say. And I think that, what are your students, the ones who can't go, what do they think? Do they sneak around and peek around or something?
No,
you tell them to stay away?
Well, we have to twist our arm to get them to work because we work our people 6 days a week. They're exhausted. I mean, my mother in Oklahoma growing up, she'd say, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So we don't allow them a lot of time to get in trouble. We keep them really busy because all the staff, we work long hours and hard. And we always take Sunday off, but 6 days a week, everybody's working. So we have to modify their schedule and let them rest up a little bit if they're going to work Saturday night because that's unusual. Usually they're off around 5:30 and have the evening. So,
well, how many people actually work for this on Saturday night?
We'll probably have probably 10 to a dozen advanced students and people in phase 4, the people that are just about to graduate. And then we'll have probably at least a half a dozen women that are in the women's program. So, we'll probably have 20 people working.
Well, I think I told you a little bit when I came out there the other day, but I went looking for Judy, so I went through the shop, your thrift
store, yeah.
And it has really grown since I was there last. I mean, the stuff is so beautiful. I mean, anyone who's looking to furnish an apartment, a home, they really should go through there. I fell in love with this butcher board, table, and it was in red. I love red. Here, see, I love red.
You're wearing
it.
Yeah.
Right. But you do have beautiful stuff. And some of that I know isn't new, but you have people who make everything look new.
Well, yeah, we sometimes we get all sorts of people from all sorts of walks of life. For example, once we got a guy in, he was gay, but he had a flair. I mean, and this guy would go and take stuff that was donated, all these little broken, artificial plants and stuff, and he would get stuff and he would make these beautiful plant designs, and we'd put them in the new furniture side of the store, and it enhanced. I mean, it just made everything look so homey.
And people wanted to buy them.
And well, yeah, people would want to buy them because they made the furniture or the bedroom set or living room look so good. He was really, really good. I mean, and,
that's what it takes.
Yeah. So. We utilize everything that's donated, everything.
But it just seems like there's so many beautiful things. So if somebody's looking now, don't go to a regular store. Give Faith Farm a chance first. The prices are going to be ridiculous, so low.
Well, yeah, we do not mark up because we use, for example, Ashley Furniture. They did all our training materials on how to recognize fabrics and styles of furniture and all that stuff for our comprehensive work training program. So it takes about 17 weeks to go through this program, one thing a week, and then they take an exam, and they have to get at least 90 on the exam. So we utilize our new furniture side of our thrift store, the new furniture sales, to train guys, and they've gone out and gotten jobs at Ashley stores because they're so well trained from Ashley. But anyway, so we utilize that as a training thing. So because the labor's free, the people are in the program, we do not mark our new furniture up near as high as, say, even the Ashley home stores do or any other store does. But so we mark it up less. And so, like, we've got a sale coming up the 18th and 19th of next month on Friday and Saturday. And when you mark down new furniture that's already undermarked and you mark that down, it's really cheap.
It is.
I mean, it certainly covers our shipping costs and a small margin, but you will never buy new furniture as cheap as you can buy it from Faith Farm. I promise you.
Well, I know. And actually, after I left yesterday, I started going in my closets, and I went and looked at some things that are really good, but that I haven't worn. I don't know if I will wear them. And I just kind of said, should you, shouldn't you? I hadn't thought what I should do about it yet, but I'll because my husband passed away, and he has some gorgeous jackets and all, and I don't know what I'm waiting for. I guess I just didn't want to move anything at the moment. I'm
Yeah,
waiting.
I understand that.
I'm waiting. But anyway, let's talk about something new that you're always such a entrepreneur at heart. Tell me what you wanted to tell people who are listening.
Well, you've talked about putting Faith Farm in people's will because we've been around 66 years. It's a solid organization, and it transforms lives, and we expect to be around another 66 years, God willing. And so you've talked about a good place, solid place to sow into the good ground to sow their money into. That it's going to do good to change lives. Well, I'm probably going to mention this Saturday night. I was up in Atlanta last week. I flew up because my brother, who is an investment advisor, he's now retired from Chicago. He lives on 40 acres down in Arkansas. But anyway, he has invested almost everything he got in this one stock in Canada that's just had an HIV drug approved. And there was an investment advisor that I've heard of, I just never met him, who got all these guys to invest. And when they came, the CEO of the company came down to the Marriott with the CFO, and he told them to really how important them making this drug work and sell and making the stock work, because all 35 people of the men there, and they came from California, Texas. I mean, they'd flown in all for this 2 to 4 meeting last Monday. And he reiterated to the CEO how important it was, because all of these men had committed to using the profits that they're going to make on this stock to gift appreciated asset, their stock. One guy had committed to an orphanage in Africa. Another guy had committed to drilling water wells, and another guy, my brother has an orphanage in Arkansas near his home that he's building out, and enhancing the church and the parking lot. And so he was trying to impress on what he could do. So I asked my brother, I says, okay, now how does that work? I've had stock, but what I do, let's say I have $10,000 worth of stock that I bought for $2,000. Well, I've got an 80% profit. Well, I've always taken the $1,000 and sold it and paid the $3,500 in taxes and given that $6,500 away for a tax write-off. He said, no, don't do that. He said, gift the $10,000 in stock. You don't pay any taxes on the gain, no capital gain, short or long term, and you get 100% write-off on that $10,000. So you not only don't pay the gain on the stock, you get the write-off on the stock.
But you're not giving it away.
You're giving it away.
When are you giving it, actually?
When you give it. You can call and wire the stock to Schwab or TD Ameritrade or whoever. You can wire it to our account.
So in other words, but the money, let's say you put in the $3,000, that's gone then?
Well, it's gone.
Oh.
It's now worth 10.
Oh,
but then
I'm
you
sorry.
gift away the 10 rather than to sell the 10 and gift the difference.
I see.
Because
so
you have to pay taxes on
right.
Well, you don't pay taxes on the gain. You get a write-off on the full value of the stock when you donate it.
But you keep what you put in to make that stock work.
No, you don't. You bought the stock. The stock's appreciated. And you
so
gift
the
it
stock
all
is
away.
Okay, you're giving.
In
this
other
as
words,
a gift.
you could, instead of selling, let's say you wanted to gift a Faith Farm or somebody, instead of selling the $10,000 worth and then paying $3,500 of it in taxes, you have $6,500 left over.
I see.
Of which you only have $3,000 in it, but you gift the $6,500 in cash, and you get a $6,500 write-off. Well, that's ridiculous. My brother says, you don't do that. I always advise my people to gift the appreciated stock, the whole $10,000. That way, you not only give more than you intended to give, but you don't have any tax liability, and you're helping the nonprofit by enhancing what you give to them.
Right. And what's that called?
Gift of appreciated assets, gift of appreciated stock, and in the last year and a half, the stock market's gone crazy, and so everybody's got. All of us have appreciated value in our stock, so it's probably a great time to do that. If you were going to gift to help an organization, gifting your appreciated stock would be great. And it's all it takes is just a letter to sign and get the account of where you're wiring it and tell them to wire the stock over.
Wow. So let's hope that because of this show, something appears in the bank or wherever Faith Farm is, and it's called the appreciation of your stock. No.
Right. And you get you get a full donation for the full value. Now, you have to hold the stock a year under IRS rules, I found out. You can't have bought it last month, and if it doubled, you have to hold it a year to get the 100% right. But my brother's a long-term investor. All of his stuff's always long-term. He does it for tax purposes, and it helps him when he's donating too.
Isn't this lovely? So maybe the Night of Light will have some major donation come in that you have no idea about because you were on this show. Let's just hope.
Oh,
One
that would
never
be wonderful.
knows.
Yeah.
One never
That would be
knows what
great.
happens, right?
That would be great.
But that's why it's funny how you live, breathe, eat, sleep, Faith Farm. You just do. I mean,
I do.
I know it.
I'm amazed by the organization. Matter of fact, I donated $1,000 to buy an ad, a full-page ad for my wife and I, just to say thank you to Faith Farm for giving us 10 years of seeing transformed lives. I've been the CEO of multiple organizations, but I've never had the job satisfaction that I've had here of seeing people come in broken and messed up and addicted and everything and totally turn their life around.
Yeah.
It's the most rewarding job I've ever had. Not making the most money, of course, but it's the most rewarding.
Yeah, and that's why I guess I love to have you come. I could have you come every week, actually, because you inspire me, even if I'm having some other kinds of situations or problems. But I get finished with you, and I say, oh, my goodness, what a life. Because even driving on your campus yesterday, and I look at it, it's very neat and clean. I guess you're really... You're impeccable. There are areas where people are working, and I saw a big truck that was in there, and it looked like there was such garbage in that truck, and they were picking it. And I think that they pick each thing, they decide what to do with it. You may have to wash it, you may have to toss it, you may have to do something. Right. I mean, it's amazing what you get and what you make out of it.
Like we get, I take a hide-a-bed sofa. Those things are so heavy with all the framework. And sometimes we pick up a whole house full of stuff, and when the hide-a-bed doesn't work. Maybe it was out in their garage or something, So we don't have the mechanism to make that work.
So what do you do?
So what we do is we take the cushions and the fabric off. We put those in one pile. We take the framework and take everything off of that and put it in the metal pile. And then our recycling thing will crush all the metal into 3-foot cubes. And once a month, we take a semi to the recycling place, and we sell all the copper that's out of our washing machines that we can't be fixed or sold. We take the metal out, the aluminum, the steel from the hide-a-beds or other stuff. We take the glass from TVs that can't be fixed. We recycle. When you give to Faith Farm, I don't care what you donated, I promise you, Anita, nothing goes to waste. Nothing goes to waste.
Who learned how to do all that?
Our founder, Pappy, he used to be in the furniture business up in Ohio. And when he felt like God was calling him to Florida to help the down and outers, the people, addicted population. At that time, it was mainly alcoholics. He wanted them to have a work ethic, and because most of them laid around on the street, they didn't necessarily do anything productive. Now, there were some people that were executives, but most of them were people, and he wanted them to have a work ethic. So he created all these things for them to do and keep busy at that help generate the money and make the program free for them.
So he had to show them. So he was like a teacher in a way too,
right.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just a very anointed, brilliant man. He was a real visionary. He was just a real visionary. Because I don't know of another. I've been all over the country and seen rescue missions and stuff, but I've never seen anything like Faith Farm. It's truly an amazing thing, and it all comes from Pappy's vision.
And is his daughter still around?
No, she passed away.
She did pass away
Dolores,
just recently, didn't she?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Yeah, she used to come to all the events, and she was an older woman too. She lived quite a long time, didn't she?
Yeah, she was in her 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't really have any family from him, do you?
Don't have any family from him. That was all. Because his wife passed away after they moved to Florida here, and that's when he threw himself full time into Faith Farm and its programs.
And on your board of directors, do you have anybody who's been there a long, long time?
Pastor Mike Brown, who runs the church. When the Baptist Church wanted to build a bigger church up in Okeechobee, he bought their old church, and it's called The Gathering. And I've been to one of the services. It's got great music, and it's very exciting. Everything about his service is really exciting. He's been around. His father, Grenade Brown, was one of the original guys with Pappy that helped helped start it.
Oh, so you
And
have
so he's been
someone.
around. He's been around since his father was there. Then his son Aaron, who is now running a big FedEx something in Atlanta. They clean rollers for all over the country. Anyway, he used to be the director of the Boynton campus. Aaron was born there, and so with 3 generations
Aaron
there.
was born where?
At Fay Farm.
Really?
Yeah, and so he now is. I mean, Fay Farm's really good training because you have to not only deal with people, in our case, difficult people, but learn to deal with people, but also to motivate them, to get them to work and stuff. So guys that leave Faith Farm and take another job, and I hope all my staff's not listening to this right now, they not only make more money, but they're so well equipped to do. Everybody who ever leaves us makes at least twice or more what we can afford to pay them.
And then do they wind up ever having to come back?
Usually not. They've been well trained and they progress so well with whatever job they take. They just do. Aaron flies all over the country, checking on installation. It's just really amazing.
Dean Webb has been on Facebook Live, and we've been so happy to have him and hear what's going on. So remember, it's this Saturday night, and it's going to be the
Night of Light, 6:30 to 9.
And you can go to faithfarm.org and contribute or buy tickets or something. I'll be there hoping that you come, say hello, dinner, auction, and good feelings. Thank you, Dan.
Good time. Thanks.